Shalom Israel, shalom, shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach, Womalak Abishai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom to those men. Again, shalom to those same men who endured those winter elements, the rain, the sleet, the snow, those frigid temperatures out there. All praise to the Most High for you brothers enduring those elements and the hardships that come with this ministry and being consistent, right? And shalom to the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom to those men. Shalom to the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, zealous, diligent, and on fire, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men, the children, the elected visitors scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, and everybody tuning in live. Don Israel to me, WFI Josiah, Shalom King, HBK Int, Renea A, Quadon, Yvette McKellar, Yolanda Caesar, Brother Believe, Taylor C, Nigel Blends, Yashad Rael, Tara Maya, Bunny Ashala, Slocky, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. Current events, the 10 toes are divided, right? And, like we always say, and we can't stress this enough, the importance of keeping watch, right? The importance of keeping watch through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Awashah. Right? Let's go to Habakkuk, the second chapter. If you're watching, you're seeing what's playing out between the 10 toes, right? Between the 10 horns or the 10 kings. Those are three interchangeable terms that are written prophetically that describes the European Union and or NATO, right? And you see the tension going on between them and the so-called United States, man. And that's major prophecy, right? You have the war going on between Ukraine and Russia. You have Europe. They're beginning to break off and say, we don't need America. They're beginning to build up that confidence. Hey, look, we don't need you. We can amass our own troops. Hey, look, we got this. They're really convincing themselves, right? America saying, if you don't increase your budget spending, for military, then look, guess what, man? We're going to do our own thing over here, right? You got France threatening Russia, Russia threatening France. There's a lot going on in the earth, man. Right? Yahweh Bashmi Shai, he's touching the earth. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse number 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me up upon the tower and will watch to see what he was saying to me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And we have to stand upon our watch. You can't leave post. A watchman can't leave his post. He can't leave his post because he missed his woman, or he had hobbies he wanted to indulge in, or he had some food he really wanted to get down with. His responsibility is bigger than himself, because his job is to essentially see all of the things that are coming into the city. Even if people have glad tidings or good news or evil tidings or bad news, even if there's wars coming, cavalry, archers, infantry, siege weapons, it's his job to be on that watchtower and see what's going on and blow the trumpet. And that's what Habakkuk is saying. Not that Habakkuk had an actual watchtower in his precept. This really is talking about watching for the prophecies, right? Standing upon your watch, meaning in this night season, and you're standing upon these scriptures, right? You're standing upon the faith and the word of the Most High. And you're waiting to see what the Most High reveals unto us based off of what we see on the earth, right? And it says, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. So these things have to be made plain, right? So the message could be clear to the people. And all of the vision that Habakkuk saw in this chapter is really going into the so-called white man, chiefly Esau in America, Babylon the Great. Right, let's read on. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And this vision is the rise of the beast, right? The beast that has two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. Now remember, Habakkuk was a contemporary of Daniel. Remember, when you read the account of Bel and the dragon and these different accounts in the Apocrypha, Habakkuk was actually teleported by the Most High in the vehemency of his spirit, and he actually was sent to Babylon by the angels of the Most High. So Habakkuk was around that same time of Darius the Mede, right? Cyrus, those Persian Mede kings, right? When they were in power. But the vision that he saw was for a set time. And this appointed time really is the inception of America, when they first came into power. If you want to use this appointed time, you can say 1776, you can say 1690. You could throw different terms out there. But the point is, this appointed time is the inception of the beast coming into power. Right? That's what this is about. But at the end, it shall speak, and we're living in the end. And we're living the book of Habakkuk, the second chapter, and many other chapters that are speaking expressly. How is it speaking? Based off of the actions that are going on and the decisions that these nations are making and their judgments that are being made manifest. Right? It says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And during the time of Habakkuk, the Lord said it's going to come. And it has manifest. It may not have been in his time, but it's happening in this time right now. These are the days where the Most High said it will surely come. It will slack it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Right? These are the days of the so-called white man reaching his end. He's at his end. Right? Let's go to the book of Daniel. Right? Daniel, the second chapter. That's why you have this going on. Where is this at? Major division in the EU, right? Major, this is from politico.eu, right? Major division in the European Union as leaders get deal on arming Ukraine without Hungary, right? So these European leaders, they're beginning to get some stones, man, if you will, right? And they're beginning to have a mind of their own. And they're coming together without America, without these other nations, right? They did a survey out here in France. This is from The Connection, right? It says, how do people in France view the relationship with the U.S.? Now, they said, where is this at? Bear with me. When you read this, I believe they said about 70+%. Oh, here it is. So they took a poll at all of these Edomites in France, and they said 73 of people in France believe that the U.S. is no longer an ally of France. That's what the common people believe. They didn't interview a bunch of military diplomats, right? And a bunch of top guys, man. These are low-level guys. And even in their heart, they can see what's going on. And remember, out there in these other European nations and other nations in general, they don't get that watered down media that we kind of get. A lot of them, they get the straight truth, man. They get the raw truth about really what American foreign policy is about, right? What the relationship is really about. And they really believe that the U.S. is no longer an ally of France. So this is division. This is major division. And it's not just France. These people of France feeling like that. You got people of England feeling like that. And these Germans, they feel like that. These so-called Scandinavian, Norway, Denmark, Sweden, they feel like that. All of these nations in Europe are beginning to understand that the U.S. is no longer an ally, and that the 10 toes, the beast, is at its end. He's at his end. It's over. It's a wrap for this Roman Empire, right? It is over for the Roman Empire, right? What did I have? Bear with me. So we got a lot I want to get into. But first, this is Bible prophecy, right? This is Bible prophecy concerning the 10 toes. Let's go to Daniel 10 and 31, because what you see going on between Russia, America, Trump, you understand, this European tension, all of this is in the scriptures, right? This is another quick one, real quick, before I get the precept. Now, this is from CNN. France to consider protecting European allies with its nuclear arsenal, Macron said. So he said, look, man, we don't need the beast. We don't need America. We don't need y'all anymore. Y'all not the guys anymore. We got this. So France is beginning to kind of speak up, man. You're trying to be the new protector of Babylon, of Europe. You're trying to be that new guy. They're trying to fill America's place of being a protector of Europe, because they know deep down inside that America ain't going to deal with them no more. So now France is standing up and they say, you know what? We got nuclear weapons, man. If America, you ain't going to help us, hey, so what? You know? Next man up spirit. And he came out and did a big speech about that, man. You know, and this guy, he's always up to something. Macron, he's always up to no good. But he's beginning to say, you know what? We got this, right? We got our own nuclear arsenal. We got our own nuclear warheads. And the Lord said the weak are going to say that they're strong, right? Let me get that in Joel, the 3rd chapter, right? This is Joel. Then I want to go to Daniel. But I want to get this first. Slakia, this is Daniel chapter 3. Slakia, Joel 3 and 9, right? Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. And we are proclaiming this. The word proclaim means to shout forth. Pro meaning forward. Claim meaning goes back to the Latin word clamere, which means to shout. It's an infinitive, to shout. So when you proclaim something, you can't whisper it. You have to shout it forth. You have to shake the hand. And as the men of the Lord proclaim this amongst the nations that they're scattered in, there are actual spirits that are being sent down from on high. And they're working on the minds of these world leaders to actually get themselves together for war. They're beginning to wake up these mighty men, right? These top generals, they're having their councils. These prime ministers, these elites, they're beginning to come up with plans and different devices to get war going on, pushing propaganda, causing division. You know, the Lord said, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And this is not because they feel like they're strong. It's because the Most High is putting in their spirit to do that. The Most High is tapping into their mind and making them understand that they also have weapons. See, the Most High, he can build your confidence, man. This is exhortation. See, the Lord exhorts us when we're weak, man. The Lord exhorted Joshua, be thou strong and only courageous. The Lord exhorted all of our fathers, man. He exhorted Elijah. He exhorted Daniel. You know, he exhorted the apostle Paul, sent the angel and said, no man shall set thee unhurt, for I am with thee to deliver thee. And I have much people in this city. Hey, but the Lord also exhorts these nations. You know, we can't beat America. You know, what are we going to do without them? They have the world's greatest military. They've always had our back. But now they're beginning to get this spirit on them. Really, it's a demon where they could really think that they're strong. So that's to the Most High. He's exhorting them through these spirits that are working on our minds. Right? So that's why you have this guy coming out saying, where's this at? France to consider protecting European allies. And when have they ever done that? When has it ever been France's MO to come out and have stones like that, man? Courage like that. Bold, that's a bold statement. And when you read between the lines, what are they saying? It's a Russia try us. That's what they saying. And we'll do God knows what to you, man. and we'll blow you up, Russia. Don't play with us, man. Stop playing with. That's what France is saying, right? So this thing is heating up, man. But this thing is prophecy, right? I'm gonna read this first little paragraph, then we're gonna show that this is prophecy. This is major prophecy in the Bible, right? So let me read a little of this. French President Emmanuel Macron warned that Europe was entering a new era, and they are entering a new era, and that it would be folly. See, that's of the Most High. Because when do people come out and say folly? Hey, the Lord made them say folly, man. That's not common Edomite language and vernacular. You know, that's what Jake, that's in the spirit of the Most High. So you got this demon saying it's folly. Hey, the Most High is not playing around, man. Right? He said, and that it would be folly to remain. And this guy, he's supposed to be an educated guy. That's not the language of these educated university. It's not in their vocabulary. You know? So you know this is of the Most High. Right? It would be folly to remain a spectator to the threat from Russia. Right? France will consider extending protection of its nuclear arsenal to its allies, French President Emmanuel Macron said Wednesday, while warning that Europe needs to be ready for the United States to, here's what he said, right? Not remain by our side, quote unquote, in the Ukraine-Russia war. So all of these European nations are coming together and saying, you know what, man, this thing is real. America, they're not going to be here for us. We have to come up with some type of solution. And they said they have their own nuclear arsenal, right? Now, when you look up, let's see, nuclear warheads by country, right? Let's see if we can do 2025. See if we get something new, right? If you look up, let's see, nuclear warheads by country. Let's see where France is. Okay, well, France, you're number what? Russia's number one, right? 5,889. US number two, China number three, France, you're number four. I mean, you're feeling yourself, but you're not there. You're not those guys. You're not him. Yeah, you're number one in Europe. You can say that, but you're not. I mean, what's 290 compared to 5,889? You know, what is that, man? So they're not even close. They have more than 20 times the amount. And then your buddy, the UK, they're 225. So you're doing a lot of talking, France. You're doing a lot of talking. Oh, we're going to protect Europe, right? By the time you deplete 290 of your missiles, and look, they still have over 5,600 of them, or 500 of them or so, 5,500. So you're just talking, right? You're just talking. You're not going to be able to go toe to toe with Russia. And again, like we're showing you, we're about to go into it, that what's going on with the European Union and how they're breaking apart is biblical prophecy, right? Let's go into the book of Daniel. Daniel received the understanding of Nebuchadnezzar's vision and dream, right? Some, over 2,500 years ago. Now, we went into this before, but we're going to go into it again. When you look up, right, this Daniel, the second chapter, right, you got to be careful because a lot of people, they put these pictures together, but the dates be off, the names be off, right? So look at this. Let's see. Let's put this to the test. Now, this is somewhat close. They're still off, right? They're still off. Let's see. You got to be careful because everybody thinks they have the dates and everything right. Now, there's a dream that Nebuchadnezzar had, right? And it's up. I want to get a plain statue. Okay, here's a statue, right? Here's a plain one. and then we'll go into it because we're in the days of this statue, right? This is one of the most prophetic dreams recorded in the entire Bible. The dream that Nebuchadnezzar had that covered the Babylonian Empire all the way up to the days that we live in now. He received this dream. He didn't know what it meant, but he had a dream of this statue. And then he had this stone that was cut without hands came and smote the 10 toes. And it became as the chaff of the threshing floor. Right? And you're going to find out that the 10 toes are the days that we're currently living in now. Right? Now let's read a little of this. Let's go to Daniel chapter 2 and 31. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. So Daniel's given not just the interpretation of the dream, he's also in such of a heavy spirit the Most High put upon him. He's actually telling Nebuchadnezzar the dream he had. Right? That's a hell of a spirit to have. You tell a brother the dream he had, right, to the T, and you break down the dream. That's the spirit of the Most High. Right? It reads, the image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet, part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet, that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces. Right? And that's what he saw. And each one of these metals, each one of the body parts, they all have a spiritual meaning behind it. Right? The head of fine gold is the Babylonian Empire. Okay? This is the Babylonian Empire, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, from 626 to 539 BC. Right? You brothers that, we go over this, you should really know those dates. Right? They fell at the Battle of Auspis when Cyrus the Great came in. And they're likening it to the head of gold because gold is the most precious metal. Right? Gold is the most precious metal. Now, the gold is symbolic, or it's a representation of the power of that government. Right? I'm going to say that again. The gold and the value of the metal represents the power of that government. So Nebuchadnezzar, being the so-called God on the earth at that time, and no man could speak against him, no man could say, what doest thou? He was as if he was God on the earth, and they worshiped him as a God. Right? All these people, they worshiped Nebuchadnezzar as an actual God. And that's why he's likened to a head of gold. Right? Let me get a quick precept. This is the book of, let's see if this is what I want. It's Judith chapter 3 and 8. Right? Judith 3 and 8 to prove that. Yet he did cast down their frontiers and cut down their groves. For he had decreed to destroy all the gods of the land, that all nations should worship Nebuchadnezzar only, and that all tongues and tribes should call upon him as God. So you couldn't do nothing against him. Right? You couldn't do nothing against him. All people have to call him the Most High. Wickedness. That's what he's likened to what? A head of gold in his statue. He's the head of gold because all nations worshiped him as God. Now, there's more that goes with this metal. It gets a little bit deeper, right? There's levels to understanding this vision. As you go down this statue from the top to the bottom, you begin to realize that the metals in process of time depreciate in value. As gold is the most precious, valuable metal, then silver is less valuable. Then the thighs and belly of brass are even less valuable. And the iron is far more less valuable. And then you have clay, which is less valuable than iron. So that's one level you look at, right? You look at that on one level, understanding that the power of these governments gets weaker throughout the course of time as man begins to, be more wicked and more liberal, and we approach the end of the world. These kingdoms, they get weaker and weaker, right? Also, you look at this image and begin to understand that these metals, not only do they get lower in value, but they begin to get stronger, right? They get stronger as you go down. Silver is stronger than gold. Brass is stronger than, silver, and iron is stronger than brass, right? Which shows that the military power gets stronger, right? And the technology of man advances throughout the ages. Because remember, this gold is Babylon. The arms and the chest of silver are the Medes and the Persians, and they were stronger than the Babylonians. Then the thighs and the belly of brass represent the Greeks. Being brass, they are stronger than silver. Then you have iron, which is the Roman Empire. They are stronger than brass. So the military powers get stronger as you go down. Also, understanding these metals have different characteristics. If you look up, let's see. As you go down, even there's something that metals have called density, right? How dense are the metals? So as you go down, you begin to understand that silver is less dense than gold. So the power of that metal is also actually begins to be less dense as you go down. And then you look up, is silver, is brass. Let's see, less dense than silver. Right, let's pull that up. Right, let's see. Is silver denser than brass? All right, let's see real quick. When you go into this, essentially they get denser as you go down, right? As you deal with these elements. That's why even Esau has something called a periodic table, right? See that? So the metals get denser as you go down. Gold, then silver, and then brass, and then or they lose density rather. And then you have iron, and then you have clay. So that's another aspect of it, which shows the power of those different kingdoms, right? The density goes down as you go down, which again shows that value and that power of that government gets weaker and weaker as you go down. Also in this statue, the third level of looking at it and breaking it down is understanding from a unit standpoint that the body gets divided as you go down the body, right? Your head is one piece or one unit, right? There's solidarity and uniformity right there. So the Babylonian kingdom didn't have any division. Everybody worshiped Nebuchadnezzar, right? There was no division, but it gets divided as you go down. Then you have your arms and the chest of silver, right? Your arms and your arms are separate one from another. So there's more division in your body as you go down. And that provides weakness because the Medes and the Persians were divided, right? And the Persians, they took down the Medes around 550, 552 BC, right? Then you have the thighs and the belly, right? And they're set apart. One is on your lower body, one is on your upper body, and your thighs are apart. So it gets divided as you go down. And the Greek is a representation of that kingdom because the Greeks were divided. Remember the Greeks, they had city-states. They had a democracy, where power was given to the people. I mean, all hell was breaking loose, man. The Spartans against the Athenians, the Corinthians against these people. And then you get more divided. Your body gets more divided, and then you have the legs of iron, and your legs are completely divided. And the Roman Empire was divided. If any empire was divided, the Roman Empire is divided. Right? You had many Roman civil wars, man. Many Roman civil wars. Then you get to the days that we're living in, the 10 toes. And these are the days of these kings that you currently see. Macron, Trump, etc. These are the days of the 10 toes. And as your toes are so divided, so are these different kingdoms of Europe divided. So that's how you look at this image and break it down. Right? You break it down from on a military technology standpoint. You break it down on a division standpoint, a density standpoint, and a power of the government standpoint. You break it down on those different levels, and you'll fare well concerning Daniel, the second chapter, right? So going back to this in Daniel 2, right? Daniel chapter 2, and I'm gonna read verse number. Let's read this again. Daniel 2 and 32. The image's head was of fine gold. So we covered that. That's the Babylonian Empire. Why are they of gold? Because gold is the most precious metal, and their kingdom and their government was the strongest. His breast and his arms of silver. So the government got weaker with the Medes and the Persians. A lot of these Persian kings was actually getting checked, man. That's how you know their kingdom got weak. You had these people that was coming up against them, telling them what they can and can't do. Right? Let me get a quick account. Right? This is let's see. This is Daniel chapter 6 and 12. And you weren't able to pull this off to Nebuchadnezzar. He'll throw you in a furnace. He'll feed you the lions. But as these kingdoms get weaker, the kings lose more power. To the point now we don't even have kings. Right? Your president, he has no power. Daniel 6 and 12. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. So they checking the king. Hast thou not signed the decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or a man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. So they checking the king. Didn't you sign the decree? You don't remember what the hell you did, man? Oh, yeah, you're right. The king, yeah, you're right. It's true, according to so and so. And the king couldn't buck up against it, man. Right? Let's read on. So these are the men plotting on Daniel. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh this petition 3 times a day. So they're trying to get Daniel jammed up. They wrote a false letter to the king and said, all of the presidents have came up with this idea that no man could worship anybody but you. But when they said all of the presidents, they did that intentionally because they didn't let Daniel know, right? So Daniel was kind of left out. Reading on. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him, and labored to the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king establisheth may be changed. Hey, you can try that with Nebuchadnezzar, Nabonidus, Belshazzar, Merodach, Baladan, Nabopolassar, all of those Babylonian kings. You can't check them, man. But they was checking the Persian king. They told him straight up, yo, you can, hey, it is what it is. You can't change this, man. Get down and lay down, O king. And the king, he kind of put his head down. So that's why when you went from gold, then you went down to silver. And we're showing you the precept to show how these kingdoms got weaker. Then you had the thigh and the belly of brass, right? Which represents the Greek Empire. right? The Persians, they ruled from around 552 to 331 BC. The Greeks came to power around 331 BC to around 146 BC. And they were weak. Their government was weak. Military was strong, right? Government weak. Quick precept on the weakness of their government, right? Let's go to First Maccabees, the first chapter, right? This is First Maccabees, and I'm gonna get straight to the point. First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse number. This whole thing is good, right? I'll just read verse number 6. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander, he died of AIDS, syphilis, right? And he gave his kingdom to his major generals. And they were fighting over his body and who gets what land and who's the top guy. Perdiccas, Hystiapes, Antigonus, Monothalamus, who else? Cassander, Lysimachus, Seleucus, Ptolemy. All these generals were fighting over his body, and he divided his kingdom amongst his top guys, right? So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bear rule, every one in his place, right? And what happened after this? They started fighting. So you had massive division in the Greek Empire. You had, first of all, prior to Alexander coming into power, you had Greek city-states, and everybody was freaking off doing what they wanted to do. And that's before he came into power. Let's see if I can get that. Right? You had Greek city-states. There grew to be over 1,000 city-states in ancient Greece. And everything was regulated by the leaders of that city-state. Each city-state ruled itself. So that's division. That's madness. You go to this city-state, you could be a homosexual. Well, all that you could be a homosexual. All them Greeks were homosexuals. Hey, but this city got his own laws. Then you go to this place, he got his own laws. You go to this place, he got his own laws. That's division. That's before Alexander so-called came into power. When he came into power, we got more divided. Right? And we put this up before. Right? But you have the Diadochi or Diadochi, which are Alexander's 4 main generals beginning to fight amongst each other. Right? And you had these civil wars that was going on. Right? You had these civil wars that was going on. And I'm not going to go too much into this, but you can look more into it on your own. So each kingdom got weaker and weaker. The Diadochi were the rival generals. It really means successors. That's what it means. Were the rival generals, families, and friends of Alexander the Freak, who fought for control over his empire after his death in 323 BC. So that's why you have thighs and the belly of brass. It gets more divided. The kingdom is stronger because the Greeks took down the Persians. Right? When Alexander came into power, he took them down swiftly, man. He took them down at the Battle of Gaugamela. Some scholars call it the Battle of Arbela. Read about Arbela in the book of Maccabees. 331 BC, Darius III, right? Cut down in time. Then the Greeks, they fell around 146 or so BC by the Roman Republic and the Macedon Wars, right? So then the Greeks, they fell. And then the Romans came to power. And the Romans are divided or were divided and are divided, right? Remember that the Romans, the Romans had a Roman Republic. They had a republic. Right? Let's see if I can get let's see their government. See that? Slovakia. Let me pull that up. Roman Republic government. And they transitioned in due time to an empire. Right? Again, this is what they had, man. They had Roman councils. They had 2 guys in charge. They had a Senate of 300 people. You're talking about division. Imagine trying to get 300 people on the same accord all day, every day. It don't work like that, right? You have praetors, which are judges. This is just the breakdown of the different ranks and responsibilities and social classes that were amongst the Romans. This is when they were the Roman Republic. They were completely divided. Plebeians, patricians. Plebeians are low-level guys. Patricians were the top guys, like your Republicans and your Democrats. You know, the Republicans are like your patricians, and your Democrats are like your plebeians. So they were divided. And Rome was divided, man. Rome, they had civil wars going on, unrest. They had the Eastern and the Western Roman Empire divided, right? Let's pull this up. Right? So the Eastern and the Western Roman Empire were divided. They got divided, right? Around 390, 395, or they have 395. That's pretty close. BC or CE, lucky after or Common Era, right? That's when the Roman Empire got divided around that time, roughly around that time. And that's what you see going on now, right? Because you're living in modern day Rome, and Rome is divided all over again, right? Rome is divided all over again. So again, going back to the statue and breaking it down, that's why you have this division of the Romans, right? Going on through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And then once the Roman Empire fell, they came back into power during the Renaissance. And then they evolved and grew and expanded. And these are the days you're living in now, right? These are the days you're living in now, right? Let me get a quick precept. Actually, let's finish this, right? His arms and his breasts and his arms of silver, that's the Persians. His belly and his thighs of brass, that's the Greeks. His legs of iron, that's the Roman Empire. His feet, part of iron and part of clay. So these are your 10 toes, all right? Let's jump down. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 2, and verse number 40. And the fourth kingdom, which shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things. And this iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. So the Roman Empire is this fourth kingdom. And they broke in pieces and ruled all nations, right? With the rod of iron. See, with the scriptures, you have to know a little bit of secular history, right? You have to know a little bit of secular history, worldly history, right? To understand what's going on in this thing. Here's the Roman Empire under Augustus. Okay, which means this is when, in Luke, the second chapter, right? You read about Augustus, he commanded that the whole world should be taxed. So let's go back to this. This is what the empire looked like. And they subdued all these kingdoms, man. They actually started out here in Rome, and they took down the Etruscans, the Samnites, the Umbrians, the Latins, and they expanded. And they started conquering more and more and more. And eventually, at the peak of their empire, which is really around 117, but this is good too. They conquered damn near the known world at that time, right? So that's why Daniel says that they would break and subdue all things. Daniel 2 and 41. Here's where our focus is. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. So you see the feet and the toes. Most brothers have 10 toes, unless you fell into some type of judgment you know. Hey, but you got 10 toes, man. Your toes are divided. That's how the Most High is showing you how these empires in these last days are going to be. They have the strength of Rome because, again, when you look at the Roman Empire, the same countries that you see in the major news now with Russia are these same countries you see right here. You see Britannia, that's Britain or England. You see Spain, which was formerly Hispania. You see France, which was Gaul, right? You see Germany, which was Germania Inferior or Germania Superior. You see Italia, which was Italy. You see these modern day European countries today, it's the same place, same people. So you're living in modern day Rome. Europe is Rome. This is Rome all over again. Right? This is Rome all over again. They're called the 10 toes. Now, today, they're called the 10 common markets or the European Union. Right? Let's see. 10 countries signed pact to enlarge a common market. Right? This is where it started. What the hell? All right. See, now you got to pay for everything, man. I don't want to pay $1 a week. Right? So this is I believe this is what they say, 1972. 10 nations of Western Europe joined today to create a larger and more powerful economic community. So it started with 10, just like you got 10 toes, or you see 10 kings, or you'll see 10 horns. After World War II, you had the, I believe, the Treaty of Rome, where these European nations, after the Cold War, during the Cold War, they said we can't let Russia come into power, right? France, England, Spain, Greece, Denmark, Germany, etc. We need to come together, right? An elaborate ceremony marked with sponsors' hope will be seen in history as a great step toward the dream of a united Europe. And all those European nations, they used to have actual kings. Now, England, they still have a king or queen or king. What's this guy? King, I think he died, man. I'm trying to remember. One of these guys died, man. Damn, did he die? Right? I believe he died, man. If not, I'm hoping he's dead. Damn, is he still alive? Right? Is this guy alive or not? Right? Let me know. Right? All these damn old Edomites, man. Now, if he's alive, I'm gonna be mad. I might lose sleep at night. Are you alive or not? False king. Now they saying it's false, right? Let's figure this thing out. He's alive. Ain't that something? Right? Ain't that something, man? God damn. I thought he was dead, man. I'm so sick of looking at this damn demon, this child molester. Right? Damn pedophile, blood drinking sorcerer. He got diagnosed with cancer. So if that's true, all praise to the Most High. Right? But anyways, man, I have to go back. That happened. These events are happening. But we'll go back. Right? So the point is, all of these European countries at one time they had kings. You had the King of England, which you still have. You had the King of France. You had kings of Spain. You had kings of these different nations. And that's why the scriptures call them in Revelation 17 chapter. He calls them these 10 kings. So there are three names they're known by in the Bible, right? They're called the 10 kings, the 10 toes, and the 10 horns, right? Let's get Revelation chapter 17 real quick, right? Revelation chapter 17 and verse number 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. And when did they get one mind? At the Treaty of Brussels and the Treaty of Rome. That's when they began to have one mind, right? That's when they began to actually have one mind. Just like all of us, we have one mind once we repented. Prior to that, everybody had their own mind. Everybody, hey, you was a Christian. Hey, this guy was a Muslim. Hey, this guy was a Nuwapian. Hey, this guy was a murderer. Hey, this guy was a demon. Hey, this guy was, hey, everybody had their own mind. But when we came into the knowledge of Yahweh, Basham Yahushai, and now we all have one mind, right? We all have one mind. So there's an initial time frame for them all to have one mind, right? And that's what this is going into. An elaborate ceremony marked what the sponsors hope will be seen in history as a great step toward the dream of a united Europe. So that's when they began to have one mind. We all unified under Yahweh Basham Yahushua. These heathen, they unified. Millions of Europeans watched on television as politicians and diplomats signed the Treaty of Brussels. The new members must still ratify the agreement, and that will present difficulties. In Britain, there will be a long struggle in the House of Commons. Ireland, Denmark, and Norway will seek popular approval in referendums, right? But the treaty does Brian near a successful conclusion of the long struggle to enlarge the common market from its original membership of 6, West Germany, the Netherlands, Italy, Belgium, and Luxembourg. The negotiations started more than 10 years ago. So they started more than 10 years ago. Then they became 10 nations that came together, right? 10 nations. That's the Treaty of Brussels. That's where you have 10 toes, 10 common markets, 10 horns, right? 10 kings. Now, when you go into, let's go into the Treaty of Rome. Actually, I had that one pulled up. Treaty of Rome. And that this was earlier, right? The Treaty of Rome, which proves that these European nations come out of Rome again, right? It says Treaty of Rome, international agreement signed in Rome in 1957. So you have the Treaty of Brussels and you have the Treaty of Rome. By Belgium, France, and Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands established the European Economic Community, creating a common market and customs union amongst its members, right? So you have the Treaty of Rome going on. You have the Treaty of Brussels. And those treaties are the timestamp for breaking down Revelation 17 and 13. Slakia. When the Lord said, these have one mind, that began when those treaties were signed. When they all put aside their differences and came together and said, hey, look, we're going to essentially work together to defend Europe from Russia. Right? Not only did that happen, it says, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So they're going to be allies with America. Right? And they're going to yield their power and strength unto America. Right? That's what it's talking about. And America is going to be the go-to guys, the guys that call the shots. Right? Let's go more. Let's dive a little bit more into these 10 toes, the 10 kings, the 10 horns. Right? So Europe plays a major role in biblical prophecy. For all you people who say the Bible's not real, it's a book of stories. So I love the story of David and Goliath. I love the story of Noah and the ark. I love the story of Jonah and the well. Right? I love these stories. It's a good book, but hey, this is real, man. We're showing you how even secular history coincides with biblical prophecy, right? This is Daniel chapter 7 and verse number 19. Then I would know the truth. See, Daniel the 7th chapter is similar to Daniel the 2nd chapter, right? It's doubled twice, right? Pursuant to the book of Genesis, because it's short. The only difference is in Daniel the 2nd chapter, the kingdoms aren't being described as metals, they're being described as different beasts. You have the lion with eagle's wings or wings, right? Which is the Babylonian Empire. Then you have the bear who raised itself up on one side with three ribs in his mouth. That's the Medo-Persian Empire. And the three ribs are the Lydians, the Egyptians, and the Babylonians. And then you have the leopard with four heads and four wings, which represent the Greeks, right? Which represents Cassander, Lysimachus, Ptolemy, and Seleucus, and their different regions that they ruled. Thrace and Macedonia, Mesopotamia, and northern Africa or Egypt. Then you have the fourth beast that you read about in the book of Second Ezra, the 11th and 12th chapter, right? Which goes into the entire Roman Empire, right? So this fourth beast is the same legs of iron that you read about, or we read about in Daniel, the 2nd chapter, okay? Daniel 7 and 19. Then would I know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. And again, we covered that these 10 horns, where's that map of Europe? Right? That's these kingdoms, right? That's these European kingdoms. Now, you see the ancient, let's see if I could open this up at another map, right? Let's see. Okay, you see that? Now, when you look at these different maps, here's your map legend. This is what you call the map legend or a map key for brothers that are kind of new in this thing. And it's color coded, right? By words and by pictures. So whatever you look on the map, this is the key to help you understand what you're looking at. Everything in this peach color is the Roman Republic around 63 BC. Then you have the conquest, which are these vertical lines from Julius Caesar. You have the expansion in this brighter kind of pink color up till 44 BC, so forth and so on. So that's how you read a map. You have to use a map legend or a map key. Now, most maps of the Roman Empire, they have common names for each province. And some maps have different names. Like you'll see France. You'll see France being called Aquitania on this map right here. Other maps, you'll see it being called Gaul. All right. You'll see Spain, right, called Tarraconensis. Other maps, it'll be called Hispania. Earlier maps of Rome, it'll call it Hispania. The later maps, it'll be called Tarraconensis. Same thing with Aquitania. The latter maps are Aquitania. Earlier maps will say Gaul. All right, so you got to kind of know what you're looking at. So these are these 10 kings, these 10 horns, right? Yet so-called 10 common markets, right? You had Spain, you had France, you had Britain, you had Germany, you had Italy, you had I believe you had Denmark as one of them, you had Belgium, you had Luxembourg, you had these different 10 kings, but they had ancient names. They had ancient names at one time, right? And these are their ancient names, right? Belgica, Aquitania, etc., right? Or you'll see other maps and they'll call them the Burgundies, the Lombards, and these different names. Dalmatia, right? So those 10 horns are these European nations, these top European nations. And process of time, their names evolved to what you know today: France, England, Spain, Germany, Denmark, Belgium, Luxembourg, Greece, Italy, right? Etc. Out of these different 10 horns, that's where America came from. This is what Daniel chapter 7 is speaking of, right? Daniel 7 and 20 again. And if the 10 horns, which were in his head, meaning those European, ancient Roman provinces, European nations, and if the other, which came up, the other that came up is America. Remember, America came out of Great Britain. That's how America was founded. Your so called 13 colonies, if you will. And before whom three fell, because America took down three of those European nations. America took down, where's the map at again? Right? It's like here. America took down England as one of the horns. Right? Remember, they took down England in the Revolutionary War. And then they doubled down in the War of 1812. They took down France in the native so-called French Indian War, as well as the Quasi War. And financially, they also got them through the Louisiana Purchase. So you had the French and Indian War, the Quasi War, and the Louisiana Purchase is how they took out France out the picture. Then they took down Spain in the Spanish American War, right? The Treaty of Guadalupe sealed the deal, and the Spanish American War sealed the deal for America to take over former Spanish territories or Spaniard territories. That's how you understand Daniel chapter 7 when it says, before whom three fell. You have to know those battles and those countries that were taken down. Again, England was taken down. Revolutionary War, War of 1812. That's one of the horns. The second horn that was taken down was France. That's your French and Indian War, your Quasi War, but you also want to include the Louisiana Purchase. And your third horn that fell is Spain. And they fell during the Spanish American War. And you had the Treaty of Guadalupe, which sealed those Western territories for America, right? California, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, Utah, Nevada, Washington, Oregon, etc. That's how America came into power, by taking down those three horns. Because remember, this country, let's do England, France, Spain, map, right? These three countries once inhabited America. They had this land. So these three horns had to fall. There would be no America without these three horns falling. Look how much territory France had on both sides of the Mississippi. They had the Most High. See, this is prophecy right here. This is prophecy. Look at these colonies in Britain, right? From damn Georgia all the way up to almost Maine. The Most High had to get them out the way. Look at Spain. They had to get taken down. That's why Daniel chapter 7 and 20 is saying what it's saying, that there was another horn that came out of Rome, right? That came out of Rome. Britannia is part of Rome. And they came to this side of the world, and that's how America was founded. Then they came back and they slew and took down Britannia. And that's how you have America. Now, all these France, just because they was taken down and Britain was taken down and Spain was taken down, America began to be the number one country in the earth. Right? They began to be the highest GDP. They led the Industrial Revolution, global reserve currency, that the Federal Reserve, highest, strongest military, and they began to push. And all nations respect America, man. Hey, that's why Jeremiah, when you go to Jeremiah, the Lord calls them the hammer of the whole earth. Right? Let's get that in Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? So this society is called the hammer of the whole earth, because when you rise up, hey, they'll beat you down. If you don't get down with their agenda, right? Their IMF, Federal Reserve, World Bank, sorcery, witchcraft, democracy, religion, medicine, education, propaganda. If you don't get down with this American wine, hey, you're going to lay down, and they'll beat you down. They're called the hammer of the whole earth. Now we're at a point where these different nations, hey, they had enough, man. Especially these European nations, these 10 toes, these 10 horns, they had enough. They had enough, man. And now you're going to have war between the 10 toes, the 10 horns, and the 10 kings, between them and America. So we see, again, going back to this in Daniel 7, they're called 10 horns, right? You see that? 10 horns. Horns represent strength and power, okay? Horns are strength and power. The Lord said, just to prove that, you say, well, I don't believe that, right? Believe it. Let's get this. This Psalm 75 and 4, right? Proving all things. Horns do represent strength and power. Psalm 75 and 4. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn. So don't exalt yourself. Horns represent power and strength. Look at an ox. Look at a reindeer. Look at a rhinoceros. Right? Where do they draw their power? From their horn. Not from their tail and not from their bite, but from their horn. You know? Let's go to Micah, the 4th chapter. One more quick precept about the horn representing strength. This is Micah 4 and 13. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron and thy hoofs brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people. And I will consecrate their gain unto Yahweh, Bashmi Abashai, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. So our horn is going to be like iron. And our horn is Yahweh, Bashmi Abashai. Right? Read Luke, the 1st chapter, concerning the prayer of Zacharias. Right? Blessed be the Lord God of Israel. Right? And you can read so forth and so on. He raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the prophets which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies, paraphrasing. So your horn is power. That's the point. That's why these countries, again, are called the 10 horns. We went into that number 10 with the 10 common markets. Now you have over, 27 countries in the EU, right? See, I thought I had this. Let's see, European. EU countries, right? Now, it went from 10 common countries at the Treaty of Brussels, right? To now you have over 27 countries that are in the EU, right? And here's when they joined. Let's kind of go back, right? First, you had, again, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Italy, France, Germany, and Belgium. That spiritual started with 6, right? Because 6 is a number that also represents destruction, or incompletion. So 6, them starting off with 6, just originally, I mean, that's an omen. That's a sign within itself, understanding biblical prophecy, right? And then you had other countries. You had the UK, Ireland, and Denmark, and Greece. So these are your first 10 so-called countries, right? Then Portugal and Spain joined, and so forth and so on, right? Eastern European nations joined, and now you have 27 countries. And look at the map, just like Rome. You pull up the Roman map, right? You pull up the Roman map again. It's the exact same thing, right? Let me close that out. See that? I got that 3 times probably pulled up, right? You see that? You see the Roman Empire, and where's the other map, right? And you see Rome all over again. 10 toes, 10 horns, right? Let's get another precept real quick. So they're called the 10 horns. In Daniel 2, they're called the 10 toes, right? Let's go back and read that one part again, one verse again. Let's go to Daniel chapter 2 and verse 42. And as the toes, now most brothers have 10 toes. If you don't have 10 toes, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. Hey, but most brothers have 10 toes, you know? And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And that represents the EU now. Yeah, they're partly strong. I mean, look at their nuclear arsenal, man. France, England, America, they have hundreds of nuclear weapons. They have a major influence in the world. People still respect the Edomites when they travel and they represent the EU and what have you. So they are partly strong, but they're also partly broken. They're also partly broken. Why are they partly broken? Right? How are they partly broken? Because they're always beefing now. They're always fighting. Right? You got Trump, he want to take down Greenland. And you got the EU, they say, look, man, right? They saying, hold up, Salaki, bear with me. Right? They're saying, hold up. Right, bear with me. Let me get this situated. The spirit of power of Yahweh, I was shot. Salaki. All right, bear with me. All right. Anyways, you got Europe damn putting soldiers out there in Greenland ready to beef with America, man. So they're divided, right? They're fighting over land again. See, America, when Trump got them moving in, they're moving like it's 1950 all over again. Oh, we want to take down Greenland. We want that. We're to name the land or the body of water from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. We're taking over this land. This ain't the 1950s. You're not going to be able to do that. We're going to go into Gaza. We're going to turn it into a hotel resort. This is imperialism all over again. What imperialism, let's pull up the definition, is when you spread yourself like the green bay tree, man, and you take over lands, right? Imperialism, a policy of extending a country's power and influence through diplomacy or military force, right? That's what imperialism is. When you go from land to land, you conquer, you rape the woman, you kill the men, and you take it off. Look at this. Look at these political cartoons. Russia getting the grab bag. Britain got the grab bag. And Germany got the grab bag. And they taking a piece of each country and they throwing it in their bag. And Britain got a fat bag. Because they at one time they had damn near the whole world. Right? Slicing up the earth. This damn demon, Roosevelt, from sea to sea, man, from North Africa to South Africa. Look at this. This how the world is, man. Whoever be making these political cartoons, they be on a different level. They're into deep thoughts and they understand the system, right? And they express it in a way that's kind of hidden. You got to kind of have an understanding to know what the message is behind these political cartoons that they put together. Because they write a lot of things in code. They're delivering a message to a particular audience. These cartoons that they put together and drawings ain't for the common guy, man. They're for guys that kind of understand the system. You know? Look at this. That's imperialism. Look at that. Got their damn tentacles of blood wrapped around the world. Right? Let's go to Psalms. I kind of quoted it, but let's go to Psalms chapter 37. Right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 37. This is Psalms chapter 37 and verse number 35. I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Right? And it's really going into Babylon the Great. They're spreading themselves all over the earth. They've done it before. They still have a territory out there in the Pacific. They still have Guam. They still got Puerto Rico. That's still a territory, man. They still have different places, military bases all over the world, embassies all over the world. So David saw in the spirit, he saw imperialism. The wicked spreading themselves like a green bay tree. When you look up the number of military bases, let's see. I mean, you get the right map, man, and it'll show you, man. I should put world, right? Let's see. U.S. military presence around the world. The United States has about 750 bases in at least 80 countries around the world. It has approximately 173,000 troops deployed in 159 countries. That's what Psalms 37 is talking about, right? All over the world, right? Got their hand all over it in everybody's land, right? Let's go to Habakkuk, right? The second chapter, right? Let's jump down. The classic, right? Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse number 5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And that's what the Most High said, receive not a stranger into your home, for he will turn thee out of thine own, paraphrasing. And all these nations received America as a friend. But it was really a stranger, man. And they turned these nations out of their home. And they sinned by wine. That's what this means. They transgress by wine through their philosophies, politics, agendas. What's the term, man? We did a cold cut a few months ago, man. They send these guys out into these different countries to overthrow them. I believe they're called I can't think of the exact term. Boy, man, what are they? Political assassins or something like that. They're not sent there to kill individuals. They're sent there to overthrow and enslave entire kingdoms. They transgress by wine, right? They go there. They say, hey, look, if you want us to help your country out, and you're going to have to open up a gay bar, and you're going to have to open up a McDonald's. Hey, look, you're going to have to open up a school. You're going to have to teach your children, but here's some money, right, to help you fight these wars. And meanwhile, they're the ones funding. It was a Monday Night Fire I did not too long ago about the when they were talking about the drones, right, and the psyops and things of that nature, right? And meanwhile, they're economic hitmen. That's what it is. The water for that, right? And they were funding the people to help fight the wars. So that's how they transgress by wine, through economic hitmen, propaganda, politics, democracy, Christianity. That's how they sin. They don't come out and give these guys a big piece of pork, and that's their only sin. No, they transgress through their philosophies. And he don't stay at home. He enlarges his desire as hell, meaning as the grave. As the grave cannot be satisfied, so it's the so-called white man. Right? It says, and it says death, because death can't be satisfied. It cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right? And now Europe, they're beginning to have a problem with that. They say, look, man, don't do that to us. Hey, man, we put you on, right? You wouldn't be you without us. We helped you in this war. We helped you in that war. You helped us. Hey, you're doing too much, right? You're doing too much, right? Let me get read one part of this. The first few weeks of Donald Trump's second term have made it clear to most U.S. allies that the next 4 years will be a distinct and more difficult challenge than his already chaotic first term. Trump's declaration that he wants to take over Greenland. For what? See, he can't be satisfied. Here, your own country is trillions of dollars in debt. People are sleeping in the streets. Look at LA, San Francisco, Seattle, Philly, Baltimore. Your bridges are collapsing. Your roads have potholes all in them. Your Edomite people are on crack, dope, trank, meth. Your education is subpar compared to the rest of the world. You're falling behind in education. Your economy is collapsing. Your currency is being devalued by the day. All nations are separating and they're joining Russia. They'll join China. They'll join this BRICS. Hey, the Most High said, examine yourself, man. Rather ye be in the faith. In America, hey, you're far from the faith, and you're far from examining yourself. Here you are focused on Greenland, and your society's collapsing. Make it make sense. But, like we always go into in Isaiah the 19th chapter, the Lord said he hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst of Egypt and caused them to err in every work of judgment, paraphrasing. So we understand that there's an actual demon that has been sent from the third heaven, from Yahweh Basham Yahushua, to work on the minds of these elites and these world leaders to make decisions that are self-destructive. The Most High is doing that. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So this is not up to Trump. People mad when why would Trump? It ain't up to Trump, man. It ain't up to these elites. It's up to the Most High. Who is he that said to come to pass when the Most High commanded it not? Read Lamentations, the 3rd chapter, 37 on down. Who is he that said to come to pass when the Most High commanded it not? Let me get that real quick. Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good, right? Lamentations chapter 3 and 37. Who is he that said, and it cometh to pass when the Lord commanded it not? So the Lord, he called the shots, man. If you're going to take over a country, the Lord commanded it. If you're going to die in war, the Lord commanded it. Read Amos chapter 3 and 6, man. Right? Shall the trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city and the Lord hath not done it? Right? Amos 3 and 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Right? Yeah, a trumpet blow is wartime. People are afraid, right? They don't know what's going to happen. Is it war? Am I going to die? Am I going to see my family again? Where's my weapons at? Trumpet blow is going down. Shall the trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Right? Or shall they trumpet? Shall there be evil in a city and the Lord has not done any evil in a city? The Lord did it, man. All murder in your city A baby got shot, child got left in a hot car, woman got hit by a stray bullet, dude died in prison, bomb dropped in a hospital, school shooter shot up the elementary school, woman got forced in the alley somewhere in the middle of the night, bar fights, club shootings, shootings at the cookout, shootings in a dice game, Edomites killing each other over meth and life insurance policies, accidents at work, hit by a forklift. Hey, Yahweh did that, man. The Most High does that, man. Any evil in the city, slander in the city, confusion is done by the Most High. You think the Most High is up in the third heaven trying to figure out how this evil came on the earth? What the hell? What's going on? Right? I got to get a hold of this. And he start going through his file cabinet, and the Most High, he pulling out the different files, and he got to figure out what the procedure is to stop evil. He's licking his fingers, going through the files, and he find a file from 2015. He open it up. Okay, well, what do I do? And he follow the procedure. He get on his laptop with his laptop, and he plug it up with the cord. And the cord don't fit. So then he asks Michael the Archangel, what do I do? Where's the cord? Then Michael the Archangel, he go down, he look for the cord, but it's all tangled up. Then he untangle the cord. And then, hey, he's not doing that, man. The Most High don't eat. Hey, everything's perfect with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Right? So there's evil going on, man. And what Trump is doing, it's of the Most High. Right? Where is this at? It's of the Most High, Yahweh. Right? Let me read on. It reads, Trump's declaration that he wants to take over Greenland and his refusal to rule out using military force or economic coercion to get it. Right? This damn devil. What the hell is economic coercion? See, what is coercion, man? Right? Let me pull up this definition for brothers. You coerce somebody. Right? That's madness. Right? The practice of persuading someone to do something by using force or threats. Right? That's coercion. Look, man. I'm gonna go. Hey, people say that they gonna rob banks. That's what people say. Hey, look. I need you to come with me, and you're gonna be the driver. Hey, look, I can't do that. You know what? I don't know what I'm doing. And then the guy kind of hold his gun out, right? Kind of flash his gun. He say, "Look, man, I need you to get in this car, and I need you to be the getaway driver." Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. Hey, shoot 2 in the air, man, and 2 at your feet. I said I need a getaway driver. Then you might say, look, man, hey, you wild. Hey, look, I don't want to do that. And then he call your wife, man, by name, right? Rebecca, right? That's your wife's name, right? Rebecca. Right? It'd be a shame if she didn't make it home from work, right? She works at the hospital up the street, right? General Hospital. She works on the 2nd floor, right? Right? I think I'll stop there on my way home. And that's coercion, man. Then that guy said, look, you know what? Look, I'll be the getaway driver. That's coercion. So what Trump is doing, and it's really sorcery, man. It's really witchcraft, right? Look what this demon said. I'm going to read this one more time. Trump's declaration that he wants to take over Greenland and his refusal to rule out using military force or economic coercion to get it. It's the first test of European resolve, creativity, and unity. Right? I'm going to jump down. After Trump's declaration that the U.S. control of Greenland was necessary for the protection of the free world. What does that even mean? See, these devils, when they just say stuff out there, we need protection for the free world. Okay, well, most of the world is enslaved through the international, or really the Federal Reserve, right? If you have dollars as your global reserve currency, there's no free world. If you have been influenced by the IMF and the World Bank, right, and sorcery of the so-called white man, there is no free world. That's a myth. if you have a birth certificate, if you have documentation that stems back to the so-called white man in this society, hey, you're not free, man. It's a joke. There is no free world. Oh, he's the leader of the free world, right? It reads, it did not take long for the national security committee to jump into the breach and argue valiantly that Trump did in fact have a point. With Russia and China expanding their influence in the Arctic, they argued Greenland's role and location are vital for U.S. security, right? And you can read the rest of this on your own, right? So they fighting, man, right? They said, look, we want Greenland handed over, or we're going to take it from you, right? Hand it over, or we will take it from you. Now, there's another event, right? Where is this at? We pull this up through the spirit. This is Slovakia. This is from DW.com, right? I don't remember exactly what DW stands for, right? But you can look this up on other sites as well, right? EU leaders seek security within the bloc without the US, right? Without the United States. We just read that in Daniel, the 2nd chapter. And if you think that they're going to patch up this relationship, they're not. It's not going to happen. They're not going to work something out. They're not going to sit down at the table and right their wrongs. It's not going to happen, man. Right? This friendship, this love, it's over with, man. Right? It's over with through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Awashah. America hasn't been a good friend. And the Bible speaks of friendship, man. Right? Relationships, friendships, allies. And America has been far from an ally, man, to the EU. Right? Hey, let me get this precept in Ecclesiasticus, chapter 37, real quick. Right? Let me get this real quick, because this is Babylon the Great. Ecclesiasticus chapter 37, right? This is right, chapter 37 and verse number 1, right? I'll read 1 and 2. Every friend saith, I am his friend also, but there is a friend which is only a friend in name. See, everybody say they're your friend. Everybody say they rock with you. I hold it down. I die for you. Whatever. Every friend said that. I am his friend also. But there is a friend which is only a friend in name. And America is a friend in name, not in deed, not in works, right? Not in adversity. Here it is. Russia is on the brink of taking over Ukraine and pushing into their allies. And America say, look, man, y'all on y'all own. We out. You've been a friend, and a friend in name. Can't nobody trust nobody like that, man. It's like you walking down the street and you got somebody pull a gun on you and your brother, you and your man's, right? And the Akim, and then the brother kind of just get out of there, right? Hey, it's lucky, I gotta go, kind of peel off. Right? Or you know, something about to go down at camp. Imagine you at camp, there's 5 brothers, 4 brothers, 2 brothers leave. Right? Your car broke down. Right? Nobody reaches out. That's being a friend in name. That's America. Right? Verse number 2. Is it not a grief unto death when a companion and friend is turned to an enemy? And that's what you're going through right now. This is what the whole world is seeing befall America and their relationship with the European Union. This is a grief unto death for every so-called white man. This is bad news. And it won't get better. If you think that, like I said, things are going to get better, they're going to talk it out, it's not going to get better because the Most High won't allow it because it's written. Right? Because it's written, man. We're telling you what the Most High said, man. Hey, when you go to quick precept, I believe I want Job, right? This is Job 36:2. It reads, suffer me a little, and I will show thee that I have yet to speak on the Most High's behalf. And that's what the servants of the Lord are about, right? They speak on the Most High's behalf because they speak the word of the Most High. We're telling you what the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter, said, man. We're reading, Daniel said in Daniel's second chapter, he said the dream thereof is certain and the interpretation thereof sure. So we're speaking on the Most High's behalf. We're telling you what the Most High said. Now, if we go outside of the scriptures, then we will be liars. Right? Suffer me a little, and I will show thee that I have yet to speak on the Most High's behalf. I will fetch my knowledge from afar. And from afar, meaning from the spirit world. Doesn't mean to some secret island with a mystery book. The knowledge we get is not from the earth. It's not from the land of the living. It's from Yahweh Basham Shai, the fountain of living waters. And that's how we fetch through prayer and through petition and through fasting and through request and through studying and through supping with the spirit of Yahweh Basham Shai. That's how we fetch and retrieve our knowledge all the way from far, above the waters and above the firmament. I will fetch my knowledge from afar and will ascribe righteousness to my maker. For truly my word shall not be false. He that is perfect in knowledge is with thee. So our words ain't going to be false, right? We're telling you, hey, things ain't going to get better, man. Things are going to get worse. Life is going to get worse. Bills are going to get higher. Economy is going to crash. We know brothers don't like to hear this. Certain brothers, why they keep talking about that? Hey, we're here to tell you we're here to tell you the truth, man. Jacob's trouble is going to happen. World War III is going to happen. Missiles are going to hit the earth, right? Your favorite store is going to close down. The 4 storehouses, these distribution centers, fulfillment centers, warehouses, they're going to be found empty. It's going to be looting and robbery. The plans that you have that you think are going to last the next God knows how many years, they're not going to come to pass. You plan on being here the next, God knows 100 years for your great grandchildren. More than likely, it ain't going to happen, man. Based off of what we're seeing right now. Hey, we're the party poopers, man. We're to rain on wicked Jake's parade. And you Negroes that love it here and put off the evil day. Right? And that's why they despise the servant of the Lord. And they told Amos, they said his word, that the land can't bear his words, man. So the people, they was bugging out when Amos was telling them in Amos the 7th chapter, and y'all going to be cut down. Here's what's going to happen. Y'all going to die this way. Hey, they said, look, the land is not able to bear his words. He said, oh, thou seer, go to Bethel and there eat bread and prophesy there. Paraphrasing. But prophesied, Slock, he said, prophesy not anymore in Bethel, I believe, for it is the king's court. So let me read this again. For truly my word shall not be false. He that is perfect in knowledge is with thee. And the Most High is perfect in knowledge. Right? So the words that we're speaking about these current events, these words are not false. These are the true sayings of Yahweh Basham Yahushua. Right? Let's go back to Revelation, the 17th chapter. Right? This is Revelation chapter 17 and verse number 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. And 1 hour is a brief time. It's not 60 minutes. And you start counting down. Okay, well, it's been 61 minutes. Well, what's going on? Right? No, man. It's a brief time where you're going to have this alliance between America and these Western European countries. And that 1 hour is damn near over with, man. Right? It's been 59 minutes and 30 seconds. And in these last 30 seconds, you're watching that the power that they have as kings with the beast is over with, man. It's collapsing. Like it's a fulfillment of Daniel's 2nd chapter. They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, yet they shall not cleave one to another. even as iron is not mixed with miry clay, paraphrase. Or the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. This hour's eclipse is coming to an end. Verse 13, we read this earlier. These have one mind, and they do have one mind. Then they come together and say, you EU leaders seek security within the bloc without the US. They have one mind. See, people, there's levels of like friendships, right? You got your inner circle, and then you kind of got that friend who kind of comes around that you cool with, right? And America's like one of those bullies that you don't want to say nothing against, but when they come around, you act like everything's cool, but you only do that out of fear. They show you that in these movies, man. The guy on the block, man, he roll up and everybody cool with him, but they only cool with him because they fear him. They don't love this guy, man. And when the opportunity comes, and they'll overthrow you. Hey, let me get that real quick. And that's how these EU leaders are, man. Right? That's how these European leaders are. They're treacherous. This is treacherous. Right? This is treacherous. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, the 6th chapter. Right? Quick precept. They only lay in bed with America because they fear America. Right? But the opportunity, once it presents itself, it's over, man. Right? This is I mean, this whole chapter is good. Right? This Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse number 10. Again, some friend is companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. And again, this is the relationship that we're looking at right now, this dynamic between the EU and America, right? When everything is good, America's there, right? Now things are being brought to light that Ukraine is losing the war, Russia's about to take over. And now the foreign policy for Trump is, hey, look, we out, man. Or not even just the fact that we're out is we're out, but we're also against you. So they won't continue in the day of affliction. But in thy prosperity, he will be as thyself and will be bold over thy servants. Right? And that's how America was, man. When Britain was running the world, and America was right there with them, man. Winston Churchill, you have Franklin Roosevelt. They were sitting together smoking cigars when Britain was conquering the world, and India and Africa and all these lands, and America was riding their coattail. They was bold over thy servants, living off of the limelight of Western European dominance and imperialism. But in thy prosperity, he will be as thyself and will be bold over thy servants. If thou be brought low, and right now, America's also being brought low, and Europe, and they're against each other, right? If thou be brought low economically, now I'm talking nationwide from a macro level, right? I'm not talking about, okay, a brother lost his job, and no, I'm talking about nations. If you get brought low from an economic standpoint, when you are attacked in war, if thou be brought low, he will be against thee and will hide himself from thy face. And America is hiding their face from Europe in the midst of complete collapse to take down, as Russia takes down Ukraine and pushes closer and closer into the backyard of Romania, Poland, eventually Germany, France, England. And America's hiding their face. So they're not a friend, right? They're not a friend of their counterparts, right? They are not a friend of their counterparts. So let's jump back into this real quick, right? So I'm gonna read a little of this again. EU leaders seek security within the bloc without the United States. This is Europe's moment, and we must live up to it. They're trying to convince themselves, right? EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen declared, unveiling her 800 billion rearm Europe plan. The proposals will dominate a European summit on Thursday. So they got a whole plan to get ready for war, right? The European Union may finally be facing up to the harsh possibility that defending itself and Ukraine alone is on the horizon. See, look, we got to fight these Russians, right? I'm gonna read a little of this. It's just the latest emergency meeting of the European Union, heads of state and government, following Sunday's gathering in London, hosted by UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and a couple of earlier ones called by French President Emmanuel Macron. I remember France came out and said, hey, look, man, don't sweat it. We got you, and we got missiles too, right? Now, they didn't say that verbatim, but, I read that earlier, that they said that they will use their nuclear arsenal to defend Europe. So France, they're beginning to realize that America's not going to be there. You got certain nations in Europe that's still in denial. Maybe we should increase our budget spending. Maybe we should just listen to America. You got other nations saying, man, the hell with America. They left us, we leave them. It is what it is. So Europe really, has never experienced such desperation, isolation ever since the 1950s. America has always had their back. They've always been there. And they've always said that they'll be there for them. This is the first time when they're kind of caught out there by themselves. Why? It's Bible prophecy, right? It's biblical prophecy. And that's why they're going to hate the whore. And man, you'll be mad at a brother, man. Brother leave you in the midst of battle. War is coming on and the brother just deserts you. Let me go back to Revelation 17, right? Revelation chapter 17, right? And verse number 16. And the 10 horns, that's the European Union, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And that hatred, man, it's increasing day by day. I can't stand America. That's what Francis said. Damn traitors. I mean, who loves a traitor, man? Right? Damn, they just want my damn money. They doing too much. They got us involved in this war. You gave all this money to Ukraine. You told us to give money to Ukraine. That's what they told them, man. They told Germany, France. Hey, Germany was sending Ukraine helmets, man. Britain was sending them stuff. Now, all of a sudden, you say, look, we out. You out? I thought we was in this together. You was patting my pockets down, making me spend all my money in the war, and you out? Hey, the hell with you, man. Hey, it is what it is. We don't need you. Matter of fact, I hate you, man. That's the spirit that's going on with the EU and America. That's what we read in Sirach chapter 37. Is it not a grief of mind? Right into the heart, paraphrasing, when a friend is turned to an enemy. And we brought it up before, but I'll read another quick precept in the Apocrypha. See, the Most High said a brother is born for adversity. And these nations, man, they going through these curses because they don't have brothers like we have brothers. Ecclesiasticus chapter 22, and I'll read verse number 22, right? 22 and 22 in the book of Ecclesiasticus. If thou hast opened thy mouth against thy friend, fear not, for there may be a reconciliation, except for upbraiding or pride or disclosing of secrets or a treacherous wound. For these things every friend will depart. Right? This is what causes splits, man. You upbraid a brother, you cuss a brother out, you call him out his name, you wish death on him, and that friendship will never be the same. He'll always remember that. Pride, you're telling the brother secrets, every brother's going to leave. right? You can't expect friendships to be the same. Be faithful to thy neighbor in his poverty, that thou mayest rejoice in his prosperity. Abide steadfast unto him in the time of his trouble, that thou mayest be heir with him and his heritage. For a mean estate is not always to be contemned, nor the rich that is foolish to be had in admiration. Hold it down, man. Hold it down with your brother, man. He might be down bad, but don't think that's forever. He might be down bad for now, man. Hey, but when he come up, hey, you want to be there with him. That's what this means for a mean estate. It's not always to be content. Because you might have a brother, a friend, and he lost his job, he don't have no money going on, his health might be bad, and he living in the studio, and you start, some brothers, they'll start looking down at him. Damn nigga. And leave him. Hey, a mean estate, it's not always to be content. Look at Job. Look at David in the wilderness. Look at Moses on the run. If you would have contemned that and despised them and threw up curses, you'll be a fool. Because the Most High raised those men up. And see, when you have a nation like America that's built on deception and murder and lies, they don't understand these things. They don't understand that if they were to come together, now they can't do it. We know it's prophecy, but just speaking on a lower level, a carnal level, if they were to come together with EU and come up with a plan, they could actually, put up a fight. Right? But if you're not steadfast with your brother in the time of trouble, he'll hate you, man. He can't trust you. He can't trust you no more. You left him in his lower state. When he needed you the most, and you knew he needed you, you weren't there for him. How could that relationship, how could that friendship, how could it ever be the same? It can't be, right? And Europe is beginning to realize that. With the United States military and financial support to Ukraine suspended, and its commitment to European security unclear, the EU has no choice but to get real. See that? On improving security self-sufficiency. Right? Just relying on America to help you, man. Ursula. This must be Ursula. Yep. Ursula. She looks finished. I mean, she has no idea what's going on. Look at her. She can't do anything. She has no idea what's coming on the earth. Right? Ursula von der Leyen wanted to underscore that things really are worse than ever. You see that? Writing in a letter to EU leaders that the continent, here's her quote, right, faces a clear and present danger on a scale that none of us have seen in our adult lifetime. The future of a free and sovereign Ukraine, of a safe and prosperous Europe, is on the line. So they know they're finished. They are finished. Right? And this is a good read right here. Right? This is a good read if you want to go back and read this article. I don't have time to do it, but you see the plan they put together. They're backbiting America. They're murmuring. They're whispering against America. And they said, the hell with you, man. Right? This is from our so-called Forex Live, right? But they have different articles on here. Trump considering major NATO shift, won't defend countries that don't meet spending target, right? And he been told them, he said, look, man, y'all better spend money the way I want you to spend money. If you don't spend money the way I want you to spend money, I'm not protecting you. And he kind of left it at that, right? He kind of left it at that. So you got a lot going on, man. You have a lot going on through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? This is from I'm gonna play a little of this clip right here. I wanted to play. This is the proposal that they put together, right? For France, the UK, right, etc. Right? Let me play this clip. So this is major prophecy, right? Major prophecy of the 10 toes being more divided. It hasn't been more divided like the times you're living in now. This is fair use.
France and Britain are proposing a partial one-month truce between Russia and Ukraine that could cover air, sea, and energy infrastructure attacks, but not include ground fighting. The London summit.
Slovakia. Just the London
professionals. Tell me if you've ever been in this situation. You're on a team call and
it's always something. Right? Let's go back. Slovakia. Let me go.
With 8 that could cover air, sea, and energy infrastructure attacks, but not include ground fighting. The London summit, hosted by the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, with 18.
I got this guy. This guy never got a suit on, man. He's not that guy. All right, he's never fitting in. He's always the oddball. He don't want to conform. Hey, I would have left this guy in the dirt, man. This guy Zelensky. He's always doing his own thing. He's proud. He's a proud guy right there, man. And you watch that video with Trump and him getting into it. He said, "Hey, the card, you don't have the cards right now." He came in that White House talking like he's that guy. He was kind of sitting up. He was in the seat of power. He was kind of, doing this and pointing and, telling them, hey, he told them, hey, look, y'all gonna feel pain. Came in there putting threats out there. You can go back and watch that video. And this guy, he do what he want to do, man. He definitely a devil. So you got Canada up there. Now, Canada, this is Trudeau from Canada. He's not part of Europe. But, hey, they're involved with this, man. Canada, they're part of NATO. You got France right here. You got Ursula. You got Zelensky. You got all these Edomites, man. I don't see Trump. So they're beginning to be, these are the leaders of the 10 toes. These are the leaders of the 10 kings. Right? So let's play a little of this. Let's go back.
Ground fighting. The London summit, hosted by the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, with 18 fellow European and world leaders in support of Ukraine, agreed to shore up their borders and throw their full weight behind the war-torn country.
They said they're going to help their borders and throw their full weight to help Ukraine. It's going to be a big deal. This is going to be a big deal.
The whole point of a guarantee for any deal, or if there is a deal, is to preserve the peace. And if you want to
see that, it's to preserve the peace. There won't be no peace. Where is that at in the scriptures, man? And the Lord said, even if there's peace, he said there should be sudden destruction. When you read, I'm not going to pull it up on the screen, but I'm going to just read it. It said the goal is peace. All you damn demons, you done murdered and brought war on the earth for the last 2,000 years, and now you want to talk about peace. Ain't no peace to the wicked, man. Let me get that first. You done, man, look. You done murdered babies, man. You done destroyed the air. You done destroyed the water. You done ran experiments on people. You done chopped off arms. You done slit throats. You done lynched the saints, shed innocent blood, committed witchcraft, sorcery, blasphemy, murders, lies, deceit, enslavement. And you ain't even apologize for any of that. Now your goal, now you want peace, right? The hell with your peace, man. Right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 48. I'm not going to pull it up on the screen. And verse number 22. Right? Isaiah 48 and 22. There is no peace, saith Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, unto the wicked. You don't get no peace, man. No peace unto the wicked. Right? Another precept, Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse number 9. Jeremiah 28 and 9. The prophet which prophesieth of peace. When the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known, that the Lord hath truly sent him. Right? So if there's peace and there's no war, there's no madness, there's no destruction, then this guy is true and the men of the Lord are liars. But if there is war, he's a liar and the Most High is true. Right?
If there is a deal, is to preserve the peace. And if you want to preserve the peace, you have to be prepared to defend the peace. So the reason I've been forward-leaning on this is because I want to avoid conflict, because I do not want conflict in Ukraine, in Europe, and certainly not in the United Kingdom.
See, this is hypocritical. What about the nations that you murdered and enslaved? They didn't want conflict. They didn't stop you, man. They didn't stop you from going into Africa, going into India, enslaving the children of God. When has that stopped you? Gad, Reuben, Asher, Zebulun, Issachar, Manasseh, Simeon, Reuben, Naphtali, the tribes, Benjamin, Levi. They didn't want conflict. But did that stop you damn devils, man? From raping, putting them on slave ships, making mockery of them, stealing their resources? Now you don't want no conflict. No, you're going to have conflict, man. And the Lord said, since thou hast not hated blood, blood shall pursue thee. Right? Let me get that in Ezekiel chapter 35. It's too late. It's too late for you damn devils to get peace, man. It's too late. Right? This is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse number 6. Right? Ezekiel 35 and 6. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So the Lord got death angels out for you, right? You sought death, you're going to get death. You wanted blood, you're going to get blood.
Not want conflict is because I want to avoid conflict, because I do not want conflict, not in the United Kingdom.
Let me get this precept real quick. This is another precept. This Isaiah chapter 33 and verse number 1, right? See, here's what the Lord says. Here's another precept, right? Isaiah 33 and 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they deal not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So you can't make this up, man. Meaning you raped, robbed, and murdered. Now you want to stop, and the Most High, he ain't going to stop, right? You cease to spoil, but you're going to be spoiled. You stop murdering and colonizing the earth. Now you about to get colonized. That's Isaiah 33 and 1.
The UK had worked with France and Ukraine on a plan to end the war, and that the group of leaders, mostly from Europe, had agreed on 4 things. The steps towards peace would keep...
What you see going on right now, this right here, this is the book of Obadiah, right? Right? Let me get this in Obadiah. See, they're all eating bread, right? And they're all having a confederate, right, against America. This is Obadiah, verse number 7, right? Obadiah, verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee. These are the men, the 10 kings that were at peace with America. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread, meaning that they have meals with you, they rely off of your money, your income, your power. They eat your bread, right? You sustain them, right? They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Right? So the Lord, that's Obadiah verse 7. The Lord said that the men of Esau's confederacy have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They're having a council against you, Babylon the Great. You're not invited. And you can't come in there and kick the door down, man. If you come in there and you act up, hey, they're going to kick you out. They're going to escort you out. It had enough with you, man. You didn't get the invite. Your days of telling people what to do. Hey, these European nations, man, you know, it's like when you see these abusive relationships. Just like that movie, Enough, right? Everybody's seen Enough. If you haven't seen Enough, J-Lo, it's an old movie back in the day. I think it's called Enough. And this dude was whooping her behind, man. You know, beating her, come in, you know, from God knows where, kind of slap J-Lo around a little bit, man. You know, kind of throw her around. She crying with the dude, right? Pick her up, kind of throw her around a little bit. And she started kind of working out, man. Start kind of getting herself together. You know? Now you watch that movie, man. She started whooping his behind, man. And he couldn't tell her what to do no more. See, a lot of these mental abusive relationships, man, once people begin to find confidence in themselves, you can't control them no more. Once they build up their self-esteem, once they build up some security within themselves and confidence, your ability to mentally abuse them, control them, that goes out the window. And they develop a level of revenge or spirit of revenge towards you. I can't believe I let this damn man control me. I was in this abusive relationship. He was doing this to me. Hey, that's how this EU is, man. They've been in an abusive relationship. They've been mentally abused, physically abused, but now they're finding confidence. Now they're mustering up that courage. They're breaking off of that stronghold. And America's playing a dangerous game. They don't need you anymore. They don't need you, America, anymore. You're not those guys. You don't have it like that anymore. You're not him, how they say, man. You lost it. You're not invited. You know? So let's go back.
Worked with France and Ukraine on a plan to end the war, and that the group of leaders, mostly from Europe, had agreed on 4 things. The steps towards peace would keep aid flowing to Kyiv and maintain economic pressure on Russia. Make sure Ukraine is at the bargaining table, and any peace deal must ensure its sovereignty and security and continue to arm Ukraine to deter future invasion.
See that? They said they're going to continually arm Ukraine. America said they're not going to arm them. The EU said, we got you. Don't worry about it. Right? We got you. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to read Revelation. I'm going to read that verse one more time, right? In Revelation, the 17th chapter, right? This is Revelation chapter 17 and verse number 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So those nuclear warheads that we went into in Europe, that France has, that England has, they're going to burn America with fire. For God had put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. All right. And with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashima Mashiach Wamalak Abashai. Most High willing you are edified. Kwam Yashalom. Shalom.